Thank you, and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat, and we're fortunate to have with us two persons to talk about the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat. Mr. David Mills. Mr. Mills is the coordinator, is one of the coordinators as well as a consultant for the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat, and with Mr. David Mills is Ms. Michelle Morton. Ms. Michelle Morton is a coordinator of training for the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat. And Mr. Mills and Ms. Morton, let me welcome both of you to the show this morning to talk about this very, very important topic. Now, while we're going to talk about the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat, Mr. Mills, let's have you and Ms. Morton give us some information about your background, your education, and the things that were important with the two of you that eventually led you to the positions that you now occupy. Then we'll go on and talk about the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat this morning.
Well, it's a real challenging quest this morning, but I want to first thank the Lord for allowing me to be here this morning and to say that I am one of 14 children. I was born in New Jersey, raised in Los Angeles, California. I came to Tennessee to take care of my grandmother almost 20 years ago. Met Lois D. Berry and the members of the caucus at my first retreat when I was about 19 years old, and have been involved ever since, over half my life now, and have just worked learning the process of how the legislature works. I am a historian by training and a political scientist. I do consulting with both the Nashville Board of Education, and I have several other clients that I work with. I work for Fisk University. Happy to say I'm an alumnus of Tennessee State University, and just enjoy being a part of the public life of this community. This is my way of paying my rent on the service, or by the service that I provide to the retreat and to the other organizations that I work with.
Very good. Ms. Morton.
Well, I was born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee. I was educated undergraduate work at Fisk University, and I received my master's degree from Tennessee State University. And so I was also educated here in Tennessee. My career goal has always been to be affiliated either in education or human resource development, which is basically training. And that's all my work. I'm presently on a company that delivers and designs training. And I have been working with the retreat as a volunteer for about 6 years. I'm a member of the Women's Issues Task Force, which is one of the task forces of the Annual Legislative Retreat. And so for several, maybe about 3 or 4 years, have been consulting with the retreat in helping to coordinate this new initiative that we're going to talk about today, which is adding a training component to the retreat.
Very good. Mr. Mills, let's give our audience some idea about the 21st Annual Legislative Retreat by having you to perhaps trace some of the significant retreats that you've attended, because I think, as you've indicated, you really almost started with the first annual retreat. And let's, from that perspective, let's have you start us off by giving us that kind of information.
Well, let me say that in 1964, A.W. Willis became the first African-American to be elected to the Tennessee legislature since Reconstruction. 10 years later, Lois D. Berry was elected to the legislature from Shelby County. She was the first woman elected from Shelby County in over 50 years. And she came to the legislature and she saw how the process worked, and she raised the question about how do our ideas get from the streets, from our homes, from our churches, from our communities into law. And there was no formal structure in place. So she sent what I call a now historic memo to her peers in the legislature and said, we need to provide a forum that allows us to provide the community input into the process. They agreed. The first retreat had to be postponed because of some extenuating circumstances, but a few months later, in 1975, the first retreat was held. Since that time, and what was real funny as I look back at it, putting together the history, the cost of a room at that time was $10. The registration fee was $12. there were 61 participants, if my memory serves me correctly. Today, there will be over 2,500 participants. They will come from around the United States. This is one of the oldest retreats in